What's going on, guilty guys and gals? Welcome back to Trial 5, yes. I feel like we're gonna get through this part of the trial too. People told me this trial was short, but we'll see how short. Me? I had somebody try to explain this to me, and like, I'm not saying like, oh, you're so duh, you didn't explain it well. I still don't think it entirely works. Basically what they said, which makes sense, is that if Yuki has the note with the code on it, then maybe he has the code to get into the records room, and he'd be the only one. But that still doesn't explain how the hell he would have done anything other as a part of the crime, right? Still doesn't explain how he'd get down to Mikako's room, how he'd move the bodies without Rei seeing it, since they were together the entire time after Yamato left. I don't know. I still think it's silly. And if this was like Akane or Teruya saying this, I'd be fine. It's just because it's Rei. I feel like you're gonna have to do some hard convincing, but let's see what it is. Me? The culprit? Oh, the other thing they said, which I think makes sense, is that this is to harken back to Danganronpa 1's Makoto or Kyoko thing. But I just, yeah. It feels like, you know, when a movie will throw something in there, it's like, oh, remember this from this? And it's like, okay, that has nothing to do with what's going on now, though, you know?
Why is it like that all of a sudden?
To be honest, I've been suspicious of him since the incident. However, since the alibis were so difficult for the case itself, I could not say with certainty. But, Yuki, revealing that password was a bold and incorrect maneuver. You went and dug your own grave.
Wait, why do you doubt me? I didn't do anything.
If you don't know, then I'll tell you. You see... What? Oh, it's just the period spacing between you and that made me think it was part of the second sentence. Jeez. The most difficult issue that bothered us during our alibis was the whereabouts of Mikako Kurokawa, right? Then, Mikako Kurokawa went to investigate the 5th floor before Yamato Kisaragi left the dining hall. But the one who said that was you. Sure. The rest of us, except for you, have no way of knowing what Mikako Kurokawa was doing. Do you get it yet?
Oh. That means... You mean Yuki lied? What? What are you talking about? Yamato is still alive.
There's no evidence. If you're the killer, you can manipulate Mikako Kurokawa's whereabouts to your liking. For example, maybe you lured Yamato Kisaragi to the 5th floor by falsely claiming she went there. Instead, Mikako Kurokawa might have been any other place.
Why would I do that? There'd be no benefit.
Then what's that notebook with the password on it? You got it from Mikako Kurokawa. Don't you think that's too convenient?
All of you were in the room.
It was handed over to you during the investigation. If it was handed over to you during the investigation, why didn't you say anything?
I don't know. I just told the truth. Also, you came over to the door and talked to me about the lock. I'm pretty sure I brought it up then, but I'm not I should have, I guess. I don't know. If you're suspicious, just ask Mikako. Mikako, is it true?
I'm still not saying anything. Wow, how convenient.
Why are you avoiding us? Mikako.
Either way, there's something else that there's another reason why you're suspicious. See, like Mikako's the role of Kyoko? Anyway. When we all followed Yamato to the 5th floor, you were the last to arrive. In other words, even if we've been together all this time, when you finally arrived on the 5th floor, your alibi disappeared for a short time. But he was ahead... Okay, here. Okay, I did this with Teruya in the last episode, right? So let's do it with Yuki right now. If Yuki was to be committing the crime, then he would have to hang behind everybody else and do what? Climb up the balcony on the 4th floor? And kill Yamato in that room? And somehow set up the whole scene before everybody else got to the 5th floor? He'd have to be Sonic! And also, Tria also disappeared for a short time because he was checking on Tsurugi, so, you know. Yes, to give a proper example, it'd be possible to go to Mikako's private room from the dormitory in the meantime, install the rope in the ballroom, leave the door open, and so on. The whereabouts of the key will need to be discussed in more detail, of course.
Hold on a minute. Isn't it strange that the sheets were hung in the ballroom back then? By the time we got to the 5th floor, it was already after the incident, right?
It's not weird at all, if you say so. If you knew the password, you wouldn't have to go into the record room through that hallway. What? The door is in that hallway! Okay, which hallway are they talking about? So in conclusion, the bedsheets in the ballroom were only camouflage. Then how did he get ahead of you? If that's just for camouflage, how did he get ahead of you to get to the record room door? It's impossible. You said he was missing for a short time. He was behind you. I was there. You thought that receiving the password from Mikako Kurokawa would strengthen our suspicions of her. It's rather counterproductive to show it here, don't you think?
Yeah, then why would I do it? You know I'm smarter than, like, Taruya. No, why do you think I'm the culprit? I mean, I don't even know if it's the password. I just got it from Mikako. And, like you said, even if you went to the ballroom to leave the door open, well, there's a break in my alibi, the crime itself would still be impossible. The incident had already happened when you re-arrived at the 5th floor.
Ray, I think Yuki's right. No matter how much you prepared to commit the crime, the person who killed in the end was the...
What?
It's the person who kills in the end who becomes the Blackened. It was that case with Ayame and Akane, right?
The person who killed last after preparing everything becomes the Blackened. I see. Truya, very good of you. This could also be a reason why Yuki is the suspect, if we reverse your logic.
What do you mean?
Simply put, they may be accomplices. Yuki, who dealt the final blow to Yamato directly, and Mikako Kurokawa, an accomplice who prepared the crime. If you think of it this way, the contradiction in this case can also be explained.
What? Mikako's an accomplice?
You know, it'd be very nice...
That can't be! Neither Mikako or I have any reason to kill! Even though Mikako can act as an accomplice, it'd be impossible for me to deliver the final blow to Yamato. That's right. We don't even know what the weapon is yet.
Really? There's no law saying you have to be there in order to deliver the final strike. It was the same act with that science lab when Kinji killed Kanata, isn't it? Yeah, but nobody else touched Kanata.
A remote killing? Is that it?
Yamato Kisaragi's corpse was no ordinary wound. The huge hole was enough to pierce his entire body. Most likely the weapon was an explosive. And explosives are relatively optimal for a remote killing. There isn't a single reason for the perpetrator to have to face the victim. Okay, sure. But I still have to set up the blood in the hallway. I don't know.
No way! Yuki's the culprit?
Or like, because this is confusing me now too. Is she saying that, oh, Yuki could have lied about where Mikako was, but if that was the case, wouldn't she still be and she was Yuki's accomplice, wouldn't she still have to be on the 5th floor to do the blood and everything? Am I, like, is that not true? Like, if they were accomplices, and Mikako was doing stuff on the 5th floor, or Yuki was picking up stuff at the end and then setting off the explosive, wouldn't she have to be on the 5th floor to do everything? I don't know. This is crazy.
Yuki's the culprit?
But there's no contradiction in Ray's words!
Oh, no.
I'm the culprit. How did this happen? Because of showing the password? Why is Mikako keeping quiet? It'll be difficult if it goes on like this. I'm not the culprit, but if they vote now, everyone will die because of the incorrect answer. I have to prove my innocence at whatever cost. For everyone.
Alright. Well, this shouldn't be hard, despite what the music might suggest.
Boppity bow.
Laboratory meat. Or the dying message. One of those two, probably. If Mikako Kurokawa was an accomplice, this case can be explained. Yeah, why would I agree with that now? Like, the culprit is Mikako Kurokawa, but it was Yuki Maeda who installed that bomb. If she performed all of the tricks, and only the final blow was dealt by Yuki, Yuki Maeda as the culprit is certainly a possibility.
Transporting them with the anesthetic gas in the cart, which you mentioned earlier is something Mikako could do. The murder itself was actually done by Yuki.
But why Yuki?
The motive is unknown, but it's the only likely explanation.
If Yuki and Mikako are in cahoots, then they both knew the password to the record room, right? Then Yuki decorated the dance halls just as before they entered the record room. Meanwhile, Mikako was going in and out of the records and doing all the hard work.
And for us, he made it look like Mikako Kurokawa was the culprit. He cleverly escapes the charges. And she dies. A well-crafted trick, but it had a long tail.
It can't be Yuki.
Alright.
If I'm the culprit and Mikako's the accomplice, that's ridiculous. Where would the benefit of being the accomplice be in the first place? Before that, I have to convince everyone somehow. There must still be facts I don't know. Or still be facts I know that the others don't about this case. That might be a clue to an objection.
Okay. Well, obviously we're not agreeing with anybody here. The rec room door. Maybe? Everyone's alibis. The Monokuma file. Yamato's dying message. I mean... God damn it, I was trying to avoid sticky keys. I think it's the door, right? Because only one living person could be in there at a time. How would Mikako put him in there? I'm not sure. They knew the password to the record room, right? Decorated the dance hall as if they'd entered into the record room from there. Yep, that's what it is. That's a good remix, though. I like it.
Wait!
The freaking junk food for a dashing youth. The weird music.
That's impossible. It'd make no sense to commit the crime in the records.
Then what do you mean? If you knew the password, why wouldn't you?
No, there's one thing you guys don't seem to remember. The records room can't open simply by knowing the password. How then? I learned this when the 5th floor was opened. After...
I mean, yes, it was opened after Satsuki's execution. I don't know why we need to mention that.
But there are a few rules regarding the access to the records. First, only one person can enter the room. Second, it wouldn't open if someone was already inside. And third, if 2 or more people enter at the same time, a bulkhead wall comes down. I wonder who I heard that with. Unless you follow these rules, the door won't open, even if you enter the password correctly.
What the heck are those? I didn't know those rules. Yuki, are you just lying again to get out of the suspect list?
No, this is a fact I heard with Ray when we first investigated the 5th floor. Ray, I don't think you've forgotten, have you?
Maybe. What you've said is true. Although we haven't seen it with our own eyes, it's likely true since Monokuma was the one who informed us.
As long as these rules exist, it's impossible for Mikako to act as an accomplice. No, not just Mikako. It's impossible for anyone. As long as Yamato was in the record room, entering or leaving that room would be impossible. Yeah, that does make sense. Yuki can't be the culprit.
Wait, just because you can't enter through the front door of the room doesn't mean the possibility of the crime disappears, right? You could have entered through the ballroom. If you can't get in when someone's inside, you just have to do some groundwork first, and then put Yamato in there?
That's...
No, if it was that much trouble, the chances are rather low. They'd be caught on the 5th floor before they ever finished the job.
Is that so? It didn't take that long for us to get to the 5th floor.
So, you're saying all the reasoning we've been doing was just a guess?
Well, me being the culprit and Mikako the accomplice, I was shocked because it was so sudden. There would be no benefit from being an accomplice, and no reason for me to kill.
What are you talking about, Yuki? The charges against you haven't been resolved yet.
Oh my god!
I obviously heard about the records with you, but I think you've forgotten one important detail as well. Do you not remember? When we were given the explanation, Monokuma made it clear. It checks the heart rate of the person inside, in order to limit entry.
Well, he couldn't be dead.
Really? So, what do you mean?
If the door doesn't open when someone's inside, however, the condition doesn't apply if the person inside is a corpse. It's not about distinguishing whether what's been inside is human, but if that human has a heart that's beating.
Yeah, then that means...
That means if Yamato was already in the record room, sounds like you could go in and out by yourself if you knew the password and he was dead.
Then...
That's right. We're going to have to do another non-stop debate. Am I right, Monokuma? Okay, but at that point, why would I need to do a remote killing? He'd already have to be dead, right? So everything we've done... Okay.
Yep, that's right. Theoretically, more than 2 people could fit inside the archives room if the person inside was already dead, or, well, if they had their heart stopped on purpose.
Well then, do you have anything to object to, Yuki Maeda?
I was skeptical at first, but if the evidence supports it up to this point, then the only culprit could be Yuki.
Is this a lie? Yuki, you committed a murder? Wait a minute. Wait! No, I'm really innocent. Ray, think harder. Do I really look like a murderer? Look me straight in the eyes and say it!
Oh, that's easy. Yuki, to be honest, I still have a lot of questions and I'm not convinced. But there's no other answer than this. As long as my life is at stake, I can't get involved in your trivial emotions.
At first, I knew Mikako had to be the culprit, but... the actions of leaving evidence in your own hands doesn't explain that kind of thing.
It can't be. No, it isn't. Wait. Mikako, don't just stand there. Say something. You're being called the accomplice. You're the only one who can prove my innocence.
Nope, not gonna do it.
Don't you guys think it's weird too? Originally, she spoke so few words, but in the recent class trials,
What? I feel like that should be...
She started talking more in class trials, but in this one she hasn't said a word. Isn't it strange she isn't saying anything even when she's being accused of being the accomplice or the killer?
Well, I'll give you that.
Mikako, I'm begging you. Please! If this ends in my death, it'll ruin everything. I'm not the culprit, and you're not the accomplice either. So just tell them.
Okay.
Mikako?
Stop it, Yuki. I believe it's over now.
What are you talking about, Mikako?
Is she being mind controlled with her robot brain? Oh no.
I'm sorry for keeping quiet, but I can't deceive you anymore. I will tell you all the truth now.
Mikako? You got a different tone.
It's as you guessed. I'm the accomplice who caused the murder by helping Yuki Maeda. Huh? What? Mikako, what are you talking about? Yuki, you instructed me not to say anything, but it seems there is no more escape now.
Wait a moment. He told you not to talk, and you're not using your slow tone as usual. What kind of change is this in you all of a sudden?
I don't know what to say because it's unfair to me, but I'm one of the victims. Yuki did something to me. I felt threatened. I had no choice but to do as he told me.
What? What are you...
Nonsense! Yuki...
Threatened? By Yuki?
Hold on. So that means you were intimidated by Yuki Maeda? Have you seen him? And you had no choice but to help in his crime. And you were accused of committing it yourself. And you were told to make it seem like you were the criminal and he used you as much as he could. But after our reasoning when Yuki was put in the corner, do you mean you decided to betray him since he no longer seemed likely to win?
Yes, if Yuki loses the trial, I will live and Yuki will be executed.
Yeah, but if I win the trial, then you'd be executed. What?
If that's the case, it's okay even if you catch the blackened.
If so, why didn't you just reveal it in the first place?
I was scared. Yuki's terrifying fear was imprinted in me. I couldn't open my mouth, and at the time of the incident, according to Yuki's plan, I was accused of being the culprit. I thought you wouldn't believe me if I insisted like that.
Well, that's for certain. In that situation, if you claimed someone else as the culprit, your suspicion would only increase.
Now it's all over. Yuki's disappointment is so great he doesn't even have the energy to speak anymore. What do you mean? Let's finish this. Voting time.
Wait! Something's wrong. Mikako's acting strange and everything is weird. Can't we just think this over again? Talk a little more?
Yuki, come on.
Whoa, now we're really getting into the remixes.
Okay, we're doing this. Okay, that's fine. That's a pretty good edit. I'll give him that.
Wait a minute, something's wrong here.
It is not. Now that we know the accomplice came out, it's a fact. If you're not convinced, you'll have to admit it eventually. Yuki Maeda is the killer. Do I have to, like... Okay.
But what about the weapon? We don't even know what the weapon was.
We already explained it was a remote bomb or something. Besides, even if it was a real bomb, it'd be difficult to find traces of it after an explosion.
Not true.
If that's the case, then it's possible for anyone to do it.
Even if the installation of the bomb, it would be impossible to leave your private room like that. The rest of us didn't even know the password to the records.
Above all else, Mikako just admitted she was the accomplice. Stop it, Akane.
As you guys said, Maeda set up a bomb on the 5th floor yesterday and detonated the bomb to kill Yamato Kisaragi.
What?
This is the truth.
Wait, I set up the bomb on the ground? Like, I didn't set up the bomb on him? You think there'd be, like, you know, explosion marks somewhere then, right? I do have to do something? Okay. Or do I just have to die? Who knows? Yuki Maeda's the killer. No. Remotely operating bomb. Ah! Wait, can I... Oh, thanks. I did it.
Wait! Yuki isn't the killer!
How long are you going to stick up for him? We're not the ones who want to give this answer. It's the evidence and reasoning. The evidence is showing us the truth.
No, you guys just said it, didn't you? Yuki was the one who installed the bomb and gave the final blow. But it's impossible for him to install anything.
Why?
If Yuki did install something, he must have done it the day before the incident, right? But yesterday, the day before that, I was on the 5th floor from morning until night. I searched every room as hard as I could.
Oh, what are you saying? Don't lie to us.
It's not a lie. It's 100% reliable and credible. I saw Akane on the 5th floor for a long time yesterday, and she testified to it after the incident with Tsurugi occurred. She came late to her private room by herself, saying she was on the 5th floor all day.
However, no one came to the 5th floor until I came down after completing the investigation. There was no sign of anything installed up there. Which means no one, including Yuki, could have done anything to the 5th floor the day before.
how can you guarantee that? You may have missed it, or you might have gone from one place to the other for a while.
Wrong! Of course, I know my investigation skills are poor, but I can distinguish to a degree when a person's chest has been blown up.
I admit it's my fault for acknowledging that you were desperately examining the 5th floor yesterday. Knowing that you did all day, it's a pity we can't prove it. But apart from this, I have to ask, why? Why are you covering for Yuki Maeda so much?
I don't want to die!
Even though she already admitted they're accomplices and he's the culprit.
I don't know. It's strange for Yuki to be the culprit is all.
It's because Yuki's the culprit. Akane, do you have sympathy? That guy threatened me and made me his accomplice.
Yuki!
Sorry, I'm zoning out, man.
I thought she was going to throw some. Whoosh!
Yuki, calm down and answer me. You didn't do anything wrong, did you? Yuki Maeda, keep your mind up. Calm down and look into my eyes. You didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
I will slap you. I've done it before.
Akane?
Yeah, look at me in the eye and tell me. You aren't the culprit. Yuki, you didn't do anything the day before the incident.
But, Mikako...
Are you the culprit? No! Just tell me that!
A culprit? I threatened Mikako and killed Yamato? No, I didn't do that. It's not me who's weird, it's Mikako. I'm not the culprit.
Yuki! Yay!
There's something weird. I swear, I didn't do anything. It's not me who's suspicious, it's Mikako.
Okay.
What's going on? Did I get it right? I want a point for that.
Like Akane said, I have no memory of installing anything on the 5th floor, or of threatening Mikako. But it's also true that Mikako said she was going to the 5th floor before breakfast this morning.
Unless Yamato was killed by some kind of remote method, at this point even you couldn't commit the crime.
That's right, and Yuki's not the culprit. On the contrary, Mikako, who's suddenly giving us strange testimony with such a frightening face, isn't she suspicious?
One of them's gotta be lying. But which one?
Akane, I'm sorry. Thanks to you, I woke up. It's all thanks to you.
Whoa. This is groovy.
It's no big deal. You don't have to apologize.
It's ugly, Yuki. Do you even want to kill us and go outside too?
What?
Because of your usual behavior, the others took care of you and defended you. I hope you like that, but I'm not succumbing to your threats. I'll uncover the truth with everyone and execute you.
What? Why are you doing this, Mikako?
Akane, as you said, it looks like Yuki didn't do anything the day before, but it was at nighttime that Yuki placed the bomb on the 5th floor.
What?
Yuki secretly installed the bomb at nighttime so he could only do the kill the day before the incident. It's a fact that I heard directly from him, so it's true. I carried out your reasoning, and the kill itself was done by Yuki.
Mikako, you really...
If that's true, then Yuki's the culprit. Akane only camped on the 5th floor until nighttime. Like Mikako said, in the end, Yuki really could have installed the bomb.
No, I followed the nighttime rule.
Nighttime rule? You know, talking about that now is useless, right? We've been discussing nighttime at the class trial so many times up until now, but without that coercion, our big alibis are completely useless.
Yuki, I really know you're not the culprit, but I've hit my limit trying to defend you. So, if we've come all this way...
Akane, it's not me.
Give up, Yuki. As long as I betrayed you as an accomplice, you can't escape no matter what you do. I fully acknowledge the crime. Hold on. Mikako Kurokawa, you are acting a little weird. Duh. It's too aggressive. Obviously, as you said, you've become a criminal. You must have been a victim of threats. But right now, the situation between you and Yuki is contrary. You're putting pressure on him to the point where you're calling him the villain. That's how much my anger towards Yuki turned out. What he did to me. I'll tell you that detail after he dies. I wonder, who will be executed after a bit more time? What?
Ray, what do you mean?
Mikako Kurokawa testified a little while ago. During the day it was impossible to set up the bomb because of Akane, but it wasn't during day but at night. That is a lie.
What? Mikako's lying?
Yuki, Akane, and Teruya, I must say I feel pity for you all. From the day I decided to form a cooperative relationship with you, I've been imitating Tsurugi's idea of monitoring you.
Tsurugi's idea?
Mm-hmm. I put a thread on your doors every night to check your alibi during nighttime hours, just like he did during Ayame's class trial.
Then, Yuki, he couldn't go to the 5th floor at night.
Yes, you're right. Yesterday at nighttime, Yuki's room was still. He didn't come out of his room at all. Okay.
So, what? Why are you lying if you're the accomplice?
Well, perhaps the premise of being the accomplice is all wrong.
You mean... Not an accomplice. An innocent person trying to escape by blaming me. They might actually be the culprit.
Seriously? Mikako's the culprit? I was right! That's ridiculous!
Teruya, at the beginning of the trial, didn't you say there could be no one other than Mikako?
Yeah, but, I was, jumping the gun.
Wait. Mikako. I'm not the culprit. The culprit is Yuki.
What a joke. If you'd stayed still, you'd... If he'd stayed... What? Okay. If you'd stayed yourself and didn't testify that Yuki moved at nighttime, that you'd heard directly from him. But the work I did on the door proves that you were lying. Yuki didn't do a thing.
That's it. Yuki also knew that the thread was actually attached. He went out and restitched it later.
An interesting point, but I put a thread at exactly 3.5 meters positioning on the 3 visiting mills, and you're telling me he knew exactly where to reattach it to, hmm?
That's right. Yuki calculated the exact height at which the thread was attached, and reattached it at 3.5 centimeters.
He could have just looked at a different door and seen, but let's not bring that up. I was lying when I said it was 3.5 centimeters, you fool. To fall into such a simple trap, are you still lying?
Well, how would I know what centimeter it was? Mikako, why? In order to drive me to be the culprit. Noisy. I'm not the culprit. Why is this happening? I can't die here. Mikako, is this the Mikako Kurokawa we know? No, I can't be the culprit. Stop. Please, stop asking me. Mikako. I'm not the killer.
Hey, she looks normal again. Oh, never mind. Wow.
I'm not the culprit.
Well, she got scary all of a sudden. If I didn't know something was up, I'd be mad at her. I'd be real mad. Okay, well, I guess we know what we're doing. Ah! All right, I've got the Jesus powers.
I'm not the killer.
Cool. I'm not the killer. Okay, cool.
I'm not the...
Gotcha.
I'm not the...
Ah! You tricked me. Wait, there's more? Okay.
Mikako.
That's what's coming. Okay, got it. And now slice. Okay, no, one more. Now slice. Slice! Yeah! Ah, my ears! Okay, I'm good.
Mikako, unfortunately, there's one more piece of evidence that points to you being the culprit. No. Stop. Stop it. It's this. The dying message, with the letters of Mikako written in blood on the lab's wall. It's proof you're the culprit.
There was a dying message? You guys didn't think to bring this up the entire time?
If I knew there was such a thing, then why didn't you tell us? I'm sorry for doubting you, Yuki.
I couldn't tell you, because no matter who you look at it, Mikako was the only one who could have committed the crime. There was so much obvious evidence left behind, we thought she couldn't be the killer. In that situation, the dying message pointing to Mikako gave a rather odd idea she wasn't the culprit.
Yes, but now things have changed. Yuki, who we thought could be the culprit, is actually completely incapable of committing the crime, because Mikako Kurokawa was starting to say gibberish and lies. Why can't Akane be the culprit? She was there all day yesterday. Yeah.
In some way, she might even be daring and smarter than the other criminals, because she left a lot of evidence that anyone could say she was the culprit, so she kind of escaped being a suspect cleverly.
It's a reinforced version of what Satsuki came out with at the same time the trial started last time.
Isn't it too much of a guess? The only culprit in the world saying they're the culprit and leaving all the evidence so open.
It's not a guess. It actually worked. She left the suspect line and waited for our reasoning to reach its peak, so that one innocent victim could be pointed out at the end. If you reached that stage, you could self-proclaim yourself as the accomplice who became a victim, and and let the person who was identified as the culprit to die. But thanks to Yuki, who did nothing wrong, we found our culprit. My apologies, Yuki.
No, there's no need to apologize. I mean, it was kind of stupid, but...
But if Mikako's really the murderer, unbelievable. I said it!
Yes, we all know. That's the third time you pointed it out. Actually, I thought it'd be too difficult back then, but Mikako Kurokawa also has a decent motive.
A motive?
Think about what motive Monokuma came up with this time. He introduced a transfer student named Yamato Kisaragi and said he was the motive in himself. The reaction of Mikako Kurokawa as soon as she saw him was, well, unique. Watching that reaction had nothing to do with Yamato, but it was Monokuma's reaction that really seals the deal. How about it? Now that you're cornered, Mikako Kurokawa, I have a lot to ask you. Before you die, you best give us the best answer you have.
Wait! I can't die. If I die, I must not die here. You can't die, then you... What do you mean by that?
Don't worry about it. It's just the culprit's ramblings.
No, you can't do this. You guys, Blah!
What's wrong?
Not yet. There's a problem left to be solved.
What?
If I'm the culprit, how did I leave my own door open then? Besides, you don't even know the exact material the weapon was made of.
This is annoying. Even if we don't know the trivial stuff, it's already certain you're the culprit.
No, I'm sorry, but I have to agree. Leaving your private door wide open aside from other things.
I can't die now. I can't die like this. If you can't solve that mystery, you can't admit that I'm the culprit.
Did we come all this way and have to guess again?
Assuming that Mikako Kurokawa is the culprit, if we look back at the case, there might be something we've missed.
Well, we'd better come up with a complete answer. I'll do my best with my brain and go all out.
Yeah, go all out, Truya.
Mikako. Then, now that the alibi problem has been resolved, the most urgent problem is the murder weapon.
Has it really been resolved?
Nope, that's the end. Time's up. It's time to vote.
What?
Classic time up. We're literally out of time.
But this was the shortest case as yet.
It seems that the discussion wasn't over, but unfortunately this class trial is.
What is this? You have to be joking. This has never happened before.
I'm not kidding. Are you? Either way, time's up. Class trial over. We're closed. Ding, ding, ding.
No. Wait. Something is wrong here. I can't admit this. This isn't true. Well.
Oh yeah! We did it, guys! Woo! What a satisfying trial,
You know.
Well, anyway, time is up. So it's your own fault for sticking around for so...
I don't know.
Anyway, did you get good results? I can't do much, so vote with the switch in front of you based on what you've decided so far. Oh yeah, I'm stressed once again. Invalid votes are immediate punishment. I won't tolerate it, understand? Then, as a result of the vote, who will become the blackened? And the answer, will it be right or dreadfully wrong? Now, what's it gonna be?
I wonder what it could be. Mikako's gonna vote for Yuki. That's a lot of flashing in my eyeballs. Ah, my eyes!
Ah, good. The vote ended unanimously. The blackened chosen was... the correct answer, Mikako Kurokawa.
Wait, Mikako even voted for herself? Come on.
She was the blackened who killed the victim, Yamato Kisaragi.
Ooh, I want that point.
Correct answer? The culprit who killed Yamato, it was Mikako? Of course, we'd come to that conclusion, but why? What is this feeling?
No, it shouldn't be like this. Something like this never should have happened. Now, shall we go straight away with the punishment time?
What? Wait a minute. Why are you in such a hurry? At least give us time to talk.
No.
No. Now then.
Oh. Hello, Korean letter.
I prepared a special punishment for Mikako Kurokawa, the ultimate exorcist. Wait, like Yuki said, you're in too much of a hurry. Give us more time, like in the previous trials. Oh, I did? Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the culprit has been determined, so I'm just going to execute him.
But there's still stuff we don't understand. What about that timeout?
Can we really send Mikako away like this? Mikako killed Yamato. Maybe that's true, but because Monokuma did admit it was the correct answer, but something's strange. After the character of Yamato Kisaragi appeared, something's obviously been twisted. In this murder, this class trial, Monokuma, Mikako, everything's twisted like a toothed cog.
Okay, I don't know how twisted that is, but... Oh, you mean like a toothed cog does spin? That's kind of like twisting.
If this is the way it ends, if we let Mikako go without saying a thing...
Wait a minute.
Huh?
Mikako Kurokawa, calm down and answer. What is your identity? Tell us what only you know.
Hey.
For this moment, I don't give a damn if you're a murderer or what. You obviously know something. You've been avoiding us for so long, saying you can't tell us, but are you really satisfied with that? Would you really be satisfied if you died doing nothing? When you drove Yuki like a rapid-fire gun, you had guts, and And I mean to say, and I know it's true. Don't you guys feel the same? If this woman dies now, we might miss the chance to know the truth for the rest of our lives.
Ray,
Without knowing anything, I don't even know why we have to do this. We're gonna stay here forever. I hate that! Mikako, I ask you from the bottom of my heart, please, if you know something, please just tell us.
Mikako, I'm afraid it'd be no use, because Miss Kurokawa can't say anything.
What? She's bleeding out her eye hole.
I mean, literally, so stop exhausting yourself and let's get to the punishment.
Wait, Mikako Kurokawa. No, Mikako. We all know things have gotten strange, including you since we'd left that ballroom. Whether you know it, or even if you've committed the murder, or even if you're the mastermind, hope was handed to you by that clown. That's why, if you believe in hope, tell me, I'm begging you.
Oh boy, what do the people say? Can't you understand the bear? It's no use. Mikako! Wow, whatever. Just give up and take your penalty already.
No. I want to say...
Mikako,
Wait a minute.
I wanted to tell you everything I knew, but I couldn't. I wanted to tell you, but it was too much. But now, I'm going beyond life and death to pass it on to you all. I'll tell you no matter what happens to me. If it ends like this, if I die without saying, then I won't be able to face Yamato. Mikako, you...
Miss Kurokawa, that's really dangerous. You're so willing to die? Then I won't be able to punish you.
I can't say the details, but you said I'd die here, right? Thanks to Yuki and everyone. Listen, it's a trap of the mastermind. I believe in you. It wasn't a long time, but you became my friends. Believe in yourself. God believes in the hope you have in yourself. Hope. Hope never falls to despair. She just exploded? Wow.
it was just a moment. Mikako, who spoke so softly and slowly, suddenly changed and didn't appear to us like she was when she accused me of being the culprit. And it was like a reaction to the limit of that release. I heard a sound coming from her head. She literally fell apart.
Yikes.
Ray, I have to tell you about it. The mastermind has been with us in all our events. That's the key.
The last ellipses. Oh, F in chat for the... I guess ellipses in chat.
Mikako?
This girl. She's dead.
What? Mikako is dead? I knew, since she was the culprit who killed Yamato, the execution was finalized, but she died so soon, before being executed. The more she spoke, the more she collapsed, and then she died.
Well, that's a new Therese, but it's kind of creepy.
It was so strange for us. At the beginning of this case, the class trial felt strange, but more importantly, in the end, I didn't hear anything from Mikako. She just left us.
You really are a stupid woman. You cut off your own lifeline. At once, I really wanted to know what was going on, but she ended up stopping the final part. Sorry. Well, to be honest, even if she did say stuff, it doesn't concern much to me.
This woman. Mikako said at the end that the mastermind is a part of our group. As I expected. No. Maybe she knew more than any of us. Monokuma, who the hell was she? The Kisaragi Foundation, what the hell is the truth?
There's no way Monokuma would tell you that. And what I'm certain of now is, in the end, Yamato and Mikako, he may have held the situation or the key to our situation. And they left us without us knowing anything.
Then
Mikako's identity, the identity of the mastermind, the identity of the Kisaragi Foundation hasn't yet been fully uncovered. Even the truth behind this murder. We're only facing the consequences of an empty shell. Damn it! Yes, we remain unconvinced. Process disappeared, only results remained.
Anyway, I gave you a short break, but, well, shall we start? My heart is pounding loudly and loudly. Punishment time! Huh? What? What's wrong? It's punishment time.
What does that mean? Mikako is dead.
What does that matter? Whether you live or die, you've disturbed the order of the school and should serve punishment. Punishment is not just a punishment, it's more of an example.
Can't you stop? You blaspheme even the dead?
No, it's a rule. You guys have seen Miss Mikako's atrocities, didn't you? She was a villain who tried to survive by overturning the sins of the innocent and good boy Yuki, that wicked woman.
I know Mikako was the culprit, and she even yelled at me harshly, but something's wrong about this class trial and your words and actions.
Mikako at the end said this was a trap by the mastermind. As Yuki said, this case was very strange. Monokuma, in our eyes, it looks like you're anxious to kill Mikako.
And when you introduced Yamato, Mikako collapsed bleeding, and you didn't even try to help.
You don't mean all of this was a conspiracy?
Oh well, whatever. Miss Kurokawa killed Yamato and became the Blackened. It's my job as a headmaster to punish her. Therefore, the Blackened that disrupted our order, I've prepared a special punishment for the ultimate exorcist, Mikako Kurokawa.
Wait,
Monokuma is saying this.
Wait, Monokuma, stop talking.
Now then, let's give it everything we've got. They're already dead and in a corpse, but they're not in the best shape.
Monokuma, answer us.
Let's go hard anyway. Punishment time!
Monokuma!
Well, I didn't know this happened. Bum, 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 bum. What?
Oh, you know, exorcists and race cars. Oh, you know, exorcists and dynamite.
Oh goodness, this is giving me, this is making my brain hurt. Oh no, it's a bush! I guess it's a grave. It's Ghost Takuma. Runaway train Ghost Rider. Train is a bit of an exaggeration, but okay. Oh hey, look at that. That looks like it could be in the game if they just like cut down on the added some anti-aliasing, you know. They're gonna crash into each other anyway. You really gotta make it explode. Oh god, it's happening again. Ghosts. I saw them. They were ghosts. What? Okay. Did the power get shut off? Okay.
What? A power outage?
I can't see anything. What happened to Mikako?
Hey, Monokuma, what's happening? He's out of power too. Hey, don't pretend you can't hear me. Answer. That was not a Kane tower.
Ray?
Wow, you found your way over there in the dark pretty quick. What is this? He just stopped.
What?
By the way, didn't something like this happen during a class trial not long ago, too? Mikako said that if Monokuma stops operating, all the facilities stop, too.
But there wasn't a power outage back then, was there?
Okay, wait, hold on. If the whole facility stops operating when Monokuma stops operating, I don't remember if it was established in this one if Monokuma has backups or not. Like, if you just broke Monokuma, would you just be free? Or at least, like, if you broke him and then ran for the door, could you make it out before another one appeared? I feel like, you know.
What in the world's going on?
In the end, there's something even more strange in this case. This blackout right now, I doubt this is normal. Just what the hell is happening?
Yamato's appearance, Mikako's murder, the power failure, Monokuma stopping. I don't know what's going on, but it's definitely strange. Everything seems like a back and forth contradiction. Monokuma doesn't seem to be getting up. What should we do?
Who is this? Akane?
You guys!
No, it's Tsurugi.
You guys.
The freaking investigation music from 2.
I just arrived. Am I too late?
Tsurugi? How did you...
What the hell are you? You can move?
Tsurugi!
We'll talk more later. We can't afford that now. Yuki, Rei, Teruya, and you.
Oh, come on, really?
You. Is that what you say after waking up after putting on a show like that? Do you have anything else you want to say?
Rei, where are Yamato and Mikako?
Why now?
Wait, Yamato's portrait is there. So, they're both dead.
Tsurugi, what the hell's happening? How did you wake up, and how do you know our situation?
Like I said, we got time for that later. To put things very simply, I remembered everything. I came here to save you all.
You remembered?
You don't mean...
You all look pretty alive, but it seems it's not yet over to turn things around. I'll protect you from the heinous mastermind.
Tori, I mean... What are you doing, pulling us around?
You all are being deceived. We have to get away from that girl right now.
Huh?
Huh? Tsurugi, what's wrong with her? It's that girl. You're the one who kept the 15 of us imprisoned. Made us stay here. The criminal who devised this murder game. The mastermind of everything. Akane Taira!
What are you talking about, Tsurugi?
Don't call my name with your dirty mouth.
Yeah.
Akane is the mastermind behind everything? Wait a minute, Tsurugi. Are you sure you're not misunderstanding something?
Yuki's right. There's no way Akane's the mastermind. No, it's you, not me, who is misunderstood. Well, it's not unreasonable. After all, you did that to us. But that's why I'll protect you all from this heinous criminal.
Tsurugi, why are you doing this? Is it because of me stabbing Kizuna? If that's the case, I can't do anything to argue with you, but I'm not the mastermind.
Kizuna? That's pretty cute compared to what you did.
Tsurugi, what are you saying?
I don't know what he's saying. Why are you doing this to me?
Are you going to keep going? Fine then. But can you still do it after hearing this? Ultimate despair?
Ultimate
despair?
Akane.
Oh, jeez. Well, they're repeating the...
It was a cry like a beast.
You know?
All the beasts make that noise. After panicking and denying Tsurugi for a while, she suddenly grabbed her head, screaming like something out of this world.
Oh, it started up again.
Her screams were growing louder. More... It was terrifying.
Oh no. Now her head's gonna explode. Look what you've done, Tsurugi. You're blowing up Akane's head.
Despair is...
I don't know which one this is. Okay. Wow, she doesn't need an apron anymore, or a cuff, or a, I don't know what that was, a tie? With her hair ties? Yeah, okay.
I'm not changing my whole outfit, but this should do. It's refreshing. It feels like something that's been blocked was just opened. There's no problem with my memory. Just as that person said. I think it was very successful. It must have been hellish to breathe without thinking of that person. I'm so sorry, Akane Taira.
Well, I'm feeling a whole lot of ways about this. Huh? You... Who are you?
Oh my, who am I? I'm Akane Taira. Whoopsie, is this our first time meeting? Then I should give you a formal greeting. The ultimate maid. Oh, wait, that's a mistake. This is the ultimate despair, Akane Taira. Please take good care of me, Yuki, Tsurugi, Rei, Atori.
Why didn't you call me by name?
Sorry.
Ah! Could have moved it down just a little bit so it's not caressing her chin.
Oh, wait a minute. Am I the only one who can't keep up with all this? Is that why you stole my Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
You, Akane Taira.
Akane, the mastermind?
We didn't know each other then, just yesterday, but this morning we were together for a short time, and I can tell. I know that you're a good person. Only for Yuki. I don't want to hear that from you. Actually, I wanted to apologize sooner. I'm sorry. The reason I asked you to dance is because I thought we'd be able to talk like this and I could apologize. Yuki, keep your mind going. Calm down and look into my eyes. You didn't do anything wrong. Yes, that was all fun.
That Akane was the mastermind of everything?
Oh, it looks like as if the power is returned. It's the spare power turning on. I'm gonna die! Hey! Suddenly the bear house was thrown down. I don't like this facility one bit.
Monokuma.
Monokuma, it's been a long time. Monokuma, it's been a long time. What's that sound? Miss Taira, surely not. You've returned? I sure did. You've all been through a lot.
What is the situation? This isn't a dream, is it?
It's not a dream, and Monokuma is moving separately on the subject of the mastermind.
You've revealed your true colors. This time I'll protect everyone from you.
Oh my, Tsurugi. Now isn't the time to say stuff like that. Since I woke up, the killing school life is no more. Asking Monokuma to dispose of each one of you would be a breeze.
Dispose?
It's what I'd like to say, but that wouldn't be much fun, would it? Besides, I still have an appointment with a certain person. So, I'll give you a chance to stand in the final stage. A wonderful stage to decorate the finale.
Well, I sure hope this is a save point. The situation in front of our eyes was incomprehensible, unfolding at the speed of light. I just stood idly, Akane, C8 looking at the person who was Akane Taira. I've become frozen.
Alright. Ah! Despair Eclipse, more like Despair Rising, if you know what I mean. Goodbye, Despair, more like hello, Despair. Yay! Save the data, please. Save my data. Alright. Da! Da! Well, I gotta talk about all that now, for sure. That was huge spoilers. You know what? I'm just gonna cut that part out at 106:47. I'm gonna have to look back and see what my voice was for her in the second game, when she shows up in that flashback. Because, it was definitely different, and I was planning on going into it, but it has now been like half a year, so I do not remember it. I actually, the middle part of that trial, wasn't a fan, you could tell, but I do actually like that ending now. I like the fact that I thought, okay, here's what I thought happened, right? From just looking at the images, I didn't like the premise of this trial, because at the end I thought what happened is like we would figure out the whole thing was some sort of ploy before the end, and then Mikako would take poison because she didn't want to face execution. But then I do like the idea of her just like telling the group everything because she knows she's going to die anyway, and basically dying because of it. That's actually kind of cool. I kind of like that. I mean, it's not I did express some disappointment with the direction Mikako was taken, specifically in this chapter, but I don't know. I don't know. It's fine. I kind of didn't miss Tsurugi, but I guess he's back now. I can't believe that I thought, okay, when we went into this game, people were like, when I played the second game, people were like, oh, play the first game. It really shows you how good Tsurugi is. And I'm like, okay, I can see it. I mean, they use him a lot here, so he must be something. But I've just not jived with him. I mean, he's a fun character. He's still, like, worthy of being in the game, but I don't like him, I'll tell you that. What else? Yeah, I still don't understand the whole Yuki part. It seemed like each point was like its own separate thing, Like, how can I explain this? With each point Ray brought up, it basically nullified all the points she was saying before. She wasn't like building a case against Yuki. She was like, oh, this is a thing that you could have done. Oh, this is a thing you could have done. Oh, this is a thing you could have done. And they made it sound like she was building a case, despite the fact that like each time she'd say a thing, it would get refuted, Which makes it feel like, one, you refuting her points doesn't matter, and two, she didn't have a good case against you in the first place. And it's actually not impossible. All you'd have to do, I think, is have like Mikako being an accomplice. That also wasn't explored very well, because I'm pretty sure it was still said in this game that the accomplice would die. So like they didn't ask her, I guess there was the thing where she was like, oh, Yuki threatened me. How did he threaten you? He said some stuff. I feel like we could have gotten to more detail on that. That would have been interesting. What else was I going to say? I mean, I think Mikako actually worked perfectly fine in this trial. Having her, like, act strangely. I thought she was being mind controlled, but no, she wasn't. I thought they were using that little device in her brain to mind control her. Which also would have been interesting. Which is why when it, like, showed her eyes in the execution, I thought she was going to, like, come back to life and be free of her mind control or whatever, but no. Like, can you imagine? Now that's a sad ending if Mikako didn't even do any of this stuff. And we still don't know, technically, if she did the killing. But I'm assuming she didn't. I don't know. It's a good case. It's an interesting case at the end, I think, for sure. The ending is definitely the most good part, you know, where you have Mikako, the time's up thing, and then everybody votes for Mikako, and Monokuma's like, yay! He basically gets to go through with his plan from the first game, except it actually works this time. And then Tsurugi coming back and showing that Akane is the mastermind. That's all good. But, yeah, the middle and, like, beginning of this trial felt very, like, underdeveloped, I guess is what I'd say. Like, it felt like the points didn't really lead into each other. It felt like you were just going down your laundry list of evidence. Like, oh, well, it's this. It didn't feel like there was any, like, interesting use of the evidence, I guess you could say, where you have that moment where you're like, oh, I understand. It was just like, no, this is kind of what I thought the whole time. I guess that might come in the next trial, because obviously this one's going to have to be retrialed, but still. I think the difference between Trial 5 of Danganronpa 1 and Trial 5 of this, because they're obviously playing on the same premise of sort of an underwhelming trial because you don't get to see all the points, but a crazy climax. I think the difference is the fact that in Danganronpa 1, you are actually building towards a conclusion the whole time. Even though it's the conclusion you don't want to believe, you are building towards the conclusion that Kyoko is the one who did it, despite, like, Makoto not wanting to. And then at the end, everything flips on its head. And that's what I think makes it the more memorable of the two, or would make it the more memorable of the two. Because on this one, you're not really building a case against anything. You know? Like, it's so impossible that it's kind of unsatisfying. Which I think is, you know, I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Anyway, if you understand what I mean, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm kind of excited about Chapter 6. We'll see how it goes. I get to do Evil Akane and another person. And I'm interested to see the origins of a certain individual from the second game. But yeah, if you made it this far, don't forget to leave ellipses in the comment section for Mikako. The final ellipses. Salute. And I'm going to be doing Capcom's stream tomorrow. Are we going to get Ace Attorney? Absolutely not. It is going to be all Street Fighter and all Resident Evil 4. But I'm going to be there anyway, just in case. Can you imagine? They say, hey, we're going to put out the Ace Attorney sequel trilogy collection with Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice. And I'm like, that'd be great. Okay, anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye!